we grew up listening to a lot of music that came from up north. You know, even though I got no love for norteños, it ain't 14. It's all about the 1-3, the 13, the 13. That's where I chose to live, you know. I'm a real Southsider. I was born and raised in Southern California. Of course, I ain't gonna kick it with no busters. I don't give a even if I would like to and even if they're the only motherfuckers that have weed, I don't give a It ain't crazy. So, of course, I'm gonna go look and spread my word around, and I ended up hooking up with some GFCs, Gangster Family Crips. These were Crips that were from up there, Northern Cali. When I represented myself as a Sureno and all that, he goes, feed man. Since one of the OG that was right there had been to prison, he knew a lot of good Southside homies. So he showed me nothing but love. He's the one that full blown took it to the next level.
Sponsored by LearnGD.com. Learn graphics and digital video design online.
You know?
So you have a brother that lost his life?
Yeah, my brother. All right, I just turned 29. So my little brother passed away. Since my accident happened, it messed up my memory a little bit of the exact date and the year, but pretty much what I could remember, because he's my full brother, same mom, same dad. He was the youngest twin. It's my brother Joseph Anthony Barajas.
The way God works, that Friday, you know, like I said, I was living with my dad. And I would always call my kids, but that Friday, you know, I told my dad, you know what, leave me your card to call long distance. Let me call the kids, see what they're doing. And I called, nobody was home. Adrian and Christian were out at the mall, and Joseph was home alone, you know, doing whatever. Not knowing, you know, because nobody knows what was going to happen the next day. But it was like, you know, God saying, okay, call, because this will be your last phone call. You know, my dad called, he talked to him. I called and saying, you know, it was like my last goodbye to my son. And I was able to say, Mijo, I love you. And Dad, I love you too. And we hung up. So to me, I was happy because he left knowing that I loved him and my dad loved him. You know what I mean? I was able to talk to him and tell him that, not knowing what was going to happen the day after. So. When Joseph, when he had his accident, we were living here in LA. His mom was living in San Jose. And it happened on a Saturday, you know, where I was coaching, because, you know, I told you you know, after I coached my kids, I still kept coaching to keep me going, you know, just active, because what am I going to do now? And so I still kept coaching at the Y. And I never forget that Saturday, I got home, getting ready to eat, watch football, whatever. I got the call from San Jose. Adrian called me, his daddy's younger brother. Said, Dad, you know, you better come down, blah, blah, blah. Something happened. You know, I don't know what. So then one of the nurses called me. She didn't tell me exactly what happened. She goes, it's pretty bad. You need to come now. So I see the way I was in my shorts from the game. I see me went to LAX, got the first play. Danny went with me, and somebody was there waiting for us at the airport, and went straight to the hospital. And it was just it was like something you see in a movie, where you never expect to see one of your own in that predicament, in that situation. You know, the doors open from the elevator, and the whole school's sitting right there. You know, they take you to you know, the nurses come, they take you to the room, and, you know, even Rosa, she goes, you know, before you walk in, you know, you're not gonna recognize him, and Joseph, you know, and God, something you don't wish any parent that want to go through that, because he had an aneurysm where se hinchó. I mean, he swelled up, you know, his brain swelled up, the head, the brain just swells up, that they had to cut a piece of the skull out. They had to cover it with mesh, because his head was like the size of a basketball. I mean, he looked like you know, his eyes looked like a little Asian guy, because, you know, the se hinchó, you know, and it's like, you know, I mean, you didn't recognize him, you know what I mean? I mean, God, it was ugly. It's like, you know, he had a concussion, and he went back to play. You know, the doctor gave him the okay, and it was like 1001. You know, in the back of it, there's a spot where, where he had the concussion, it's like 1,001 odds to get hit in the same spot again. You know what I mean? And sure enough, it was like the last play of the game, and I guess when he went down to tackle, he went head first, and it just hit him, even though he had the helmet. And it just that's after that. That was history. That was it. He just went into convulsions there on the field.
Because Daddy says that he was walking towards the sideline.
Yeah, he was working towards the sideline, and that's where that's where he collapsed, and he just started, convulsions and everything. We pulled the plug on Tuesday, the 19th of October, 1999, because he was already gone. Half of his brain was gone already. If he continued, he was going to be a vegetable. So, the best thing was just to pull the plug in. So we talked about it, and we came to the decision.
His twin brother Christian, did he play on the same?
Yes. Oh yeah, he played on the same team. He was there. He was there when everything happened.
So he was on the field.
He was on the field. He was there. Adrian, he was on the band, so he was up in the bleachers, but he was there too. So yeah, they were both there. His two brothers were there. They saw exactly how everything went.
Like, do you guys ever talk about it when you guys get together? Is it
No,
something that...
no, that's something we don't talk about. We did at one point, but we made it a point not to talk about it. We just moved on. We just don't talk about it.
So this would be, well, this is his anniversary
just passed. Yeah, just passed.
Do you have like a...
I always have a mass set for him on whatever day it is of the week. I have a mass set for him, and I let people know who wants to go find, but I'm there. It's just something that I always do since when he passed away, we did a memorial for him at St. Alfonso's, and God, you should have seen that church was packed with all his friends from Macy, from Montebello. I mean, that church was packed with kids. All this, God, so many kids loved him. Aside from the family, the friends. Yeah, I mean, it was something nice. It was something you're never gonna forget. And it was just a memorial, and God, it was on the news up north. It even made the news over here in Channel 7. It made the news over here because I remember seeing it. It made the papers. I mean, oh yeah, it made it. God, we even got his mom. They got a letter from Tommy Lasorda, sent him a letter, and I know that some of the players from the 49ers went to talk to the kids from the football team, and that was the same year Steve Young retired, and I have a newspaper clip that I could show you, where it has a picture of Steve Young and a picture of Joseph back to back next to each other from the one of the newspapers up north. Steve Young reading that story of Joseph was one of the reasons that made him kind of convince him to retire. And I swear to God, I got the newspaper clip where it said it right there. Remember Steve Young from the 49ers? Yeah, that's when he retired, yeah. And it has a picture, he's right next to my son Joseph. Yeah, I made the news, and we donated all his organs and stuff. It were donated to 4 different people, and so he's still living, in this world someplace,
And you got letters from them too?
No, I got a letter from the state. Yeah, the state sent me, the state of California sent me a letter, nice binder saying, where his parts were donated and who they went to, you know what I mean? And they went to 2 men, a young guy and a lady. His the liver, all the organs, yeah, so he's still living on someplace, so it makes you kind of feel good, he's still around, so. Joseph was always, back then, Joseph would always be a little bit more aggressive than Christian was when it came to playing sports. And then when this happened with Joseph, Christian fell right into his shoes. Because Joseph, I mean, he would play on defense, offense, I mean, special teams. What didn't he do? You know what I mean? I mean, he did it all, and that was just Joseph, you know what I mean? We're all, active, and Christian, I think he only played defense. But when he passed away, he just fell into his shoes, and You know, Christian that's Joseph right there. I would just say, man, you know, he's taking over again. You know, just Joseph's back. I mean, Christian is doing what Joseph did. And so, but yet in the back of my mind, I was scared. And I always had that in the back of my mind. Oh, you know, please God, don't make Christian get hurt. Please don't. Especially when he was playing college ball at Chapman. You know, I would try to go to a lot of his home games. And, you know, you always have that fear. You know, you don't want, you know, oh, come on, you know. It's just, as a parent, it's one of those things, Louis, you know. Well, you can't help it, you know. You love your kids, you know. So.
And did you see a big change in Danny, like after his brother passed away?
You know, Louis, let me go back to that. I didn't really see much of that because all that happened when they were at their mom's house. We were already separated. When I would get them, I would only get like Danny and Adrian, you know. But when they were home, they would always be, you know, together. Yeah, I had them, you know, not always. Yes, I did have them with me, all four, but not all the time like I wanted to, you know what I mean? I'll tell you one thing, Joseph really respected my dad and looked up to my dad. When Joseph died, my dad took it hard. I'm never gonna forget it. We were at the house. I had all my kids. We lived upstairs. My dad was messed up from his knee. We couldn't really walk right. And we were making carne asada. And all of us went downstairs, you know, all right, let's start the barbecue and everything. Except one, that was Joseph. He stood up there with my dad, taking care of my dad, you know. And he not me, not nobody. Joseph got a chair, brought the chair down, yelling at his brothers, hey, come on, help me to bring Grandpa out here. You know, and my dad never forget that. He never forget what Joseph did. That, you know, he goes, él me quería mucho, you know. Él me cuidó ese día, you know. He brought me down the stairs, you know, brought the chair for me. Los otros cabrones les valió madre, nomás se fueron a comer, you know. But that was my dad, you know, that's how we spoke. And, you know, just funny. And yeah, so when Joseph passed away, the day when we pulled the plug, I couldn't find my dad. He was like on the 5th floor, sitting, you know, when you get out of the outlet, just sitting there crying and crying. I couldn't find my dad, you know, and he took it real hard. He took it hard when Joseph passed away, you know. My brother and my dad and my cousin, they drove up on Tuesday morning, so they were there in the morning with me. And so I'm glad they got there before we did whatever decision was made, you know, because I felt support now, you know, from my family. And yeah, so, you know what, I'm going to be honest with you, Louis. You know, me as a dad, I didn't even ask my kids how they felt about, you know. I knew their mom did, but me, I didn't. And I look back and I go, you know, and you know, you know what I mean? But I remember, I go, you know, I never went back to say, you know, how you guys doing? I mean, you know, not really talking about it into depth with the kids, you know what I mean? And I guess I was too busy about me, you know, how I was feeling, you know. I was just feeling sorry for, you know, and so yeah, so, you know, I never really talked about it, you know.
Me and Adrian are 2 years apart from each other, and then me and Christian and Joseph are about 3 years apart from each other. Like I told you, I could find out and get down the exact date and stuff like that. I'm not trying to say that doesn't matter to me, but it's more like, you know, my brother passed away, and that's what got to me more than anything, whether it's this date or that date, because we were like real tight, especially the one that passed away out of my other 2 brothers. I mean, I love all of them, and I always looked out for them, but me and my brother Joseph always had a cool little clique. I remember him, I could see like, oh, I want to be like my big brother Danny when I grow up, you know? So it's one of those situations. He ended up being a full-blown football star, high school football star. My mom moved him up north to get him out of the LA life, because my mom seen what was going on with me and what was happening with me, so she had my brothers in a better environment. And while I was living with my dad here in LA, East LA, you know, going to school, doing whatever. Long story short, my brother ended up getting a concussion from the football thing, because he was only in 10th grade when he passed away, but he was a starting center linebacker. So he was pretty good, you know, tearing. Long story short, he had got injured, And I'm not going to say that that's why he ended up dying, but he was just getting bad head injuries, and so he ended up passing away from a head aneurysm, I think, or brain aneurysm. You know, my mom had us sitting down and talked to us, and look, if your brother passes away, he has nothing but good organs. He was a healthy kid. How do you guys feel about donating his organs instead of just burying them in the ground, and he's gonna just turn to dust? And there's a lot of people that could benefit from your brother's left kidney, right lung, whatever the situation is. How do you guys feel about it? So we talked, and we all agreed, and we felt good about it. And so people in the world that were in need of the whole situation ended up writing thank you letters and all that. And pretty much my brother ended up donating all of his organs and stuff after he had already passed away. My mom has his remainings at her house and stuff like that. So yeah, I think he stays with me. Yeah, I think about him a lot. Yeah, I remember. I know my dad took it obviously bad too, because I was his son. But yeah, I remember my mom was taking it real bad too. But to get back to what I had told you earlier about my grandpa when he had passed, I'm not saying I don't remember nothing, but I was going through some really deep depression and sorrow and hurting on my own because of the connection that I had with him all the years of my life. To get back now with my brother, I was going through the same thing, just tripping out on the whole situation. Like, why couldn't it be me? I remember telling my mom that, you know what, Mom, I would have wished, and I thought I would have died. I'm over here, my innocent little brother that's a good student, good grades, doing his damn thing, and I'm over here gangbanging and choosing the life that I'm choosing that comes with it. Like, you know, wow, how come an innocent little boy? So yeah, it was pretty gospel. The family took it pretty dramatic, and the one good thing that I could reminisce on and looking back to it is that the school he had went to, which was up north, it was like in San Jose, but like North San Jose, where my mom ended up moving. It was called Almaden Valley, I think, where his school was at. And that whole community and the whole school, and his jerseys up in their gym forever, and they pretty much showed that, oh, we just don't, it's not, oh, we don't give a f. They were there, and they held and did a good thing.
So when he passed, they did like a service for him, like to remember him?
Oh, they did a bunch of different things. Yeah, the whole candle lighting and all that stuff. Oh yeah, I went up there with my mother, and besides all that, yeah, it wasn't just one friend that went to school with him. It was the whole community. It was the school. It was pretty much I tripped out on the whole thing. Not saying that I didn't want that. I'm thankful, especially for it now, because I'm looking back and remembering, and I'm like, damn, that was real good. Because my brother, I could remember when we were kids growing up in Montebello, riding bikes. And since I was pretty much the oldest, and all the kids that grew up by my house is in Montebello, I was the leader of the pack, and I was the fastest and could do tricks and Mr. Cool. So they would follow me. And I remember, you know, taking our bike rides and doing shit like that. It wasn't bike rides on the beach or nothing like that. You know, it was Grand Ray Park, Montebello Park, Henry Acuna, all through Montebello, you know? So that's what I'm able to remember.
It was like the year before my dad passed away, before my dad really got sick. No, I'm sorry. It was that summer, because my dad died, you know, the year after. That summer. Yeah, one time my dad, Danny, you know, out of the blues, he called me, hey, Dad, get abuelito ready. We're going to make carne asada. I'm taking the mariachis. Go, for what? Just for my grandpa, because, you know, that's my grandpa. And then when he got his, you know, my parents are divorced, so he went to go pick up my mom, and he brought her over. And then he got the mariachi like for 2-3 hours. And then he was still picado. Then he went to go get a conjunto norteño for about another 2 hours. here they come, with accordion and all that, Ramon Ayala, like todo that. Oh man, my dad was happy, and I mean, I don't know if Danny saw, because I was crying, pero de gusto, Yeah, Danny would do things like that. That was Danny. That was one of the happiest moments my dad had, out of the blues. You know what I mean? And those are the best things when you do something the last minute. If you plan it, it don't come out right. You do it the last minute, man, sale ATM, man, a toda madre. So, but yeah, my dad never forgot that. I mean, I'm sure he's looking down saying, and I still don't, so.
And Danny and your father were really close?
Oh, Louis, like I said, I was taking care of my dad, and Danny lived there with us too. And Danny was very close with my dad. I mean, before Danny went out every night, it's a custom for us to go to our grandmother to get la bendición. And Danny would go every day before he went out to this, every night before he left. I didn't know this. So Danny told me after my dad passed away. And my dad le daba la bendición, and Danny would be off on his way. I mean, my dad, when he started dialysis, because, my dad estaba gordito. A couple of times he fell. I couldn't pick him up. My dad was too, I would call the neighbor. It wasn't for Danny being there, because, he would just lift him, and God. Yeah, no, Danny was there helping me big time when my dad was going through his dialysis, and, it's like, I know Danny took it hard when my dad died. Because I would see it in Danny's eyes. He missed his grandpa. I mean, I know my mijo, you know what I mean? My dad was everything to Danny. That's why when my dad passed away, Danny went up there and spoke on the altar what a life he had with my dad. My dad made everything to Danny. You know what I mean? And my dad would always say, mijo, de todos tus hermanos, tú eres el más cabrón, pero eres el que me quieres más. Man? And, como dicho hecho, his actions showed it. So, but, we had good memories, Louis. Well, when my dad was bullfighting, and being a bullfighter, it's in seasons. You know what I mean? Just like baseball or basketball, everything's done through seasons. It's not a year-round thing. And my dad was already reaching his peak where he was going to go, bullfight in Spain, and in Mexico City, in La Plaza Mexico, where, it's like going to the Super Bowl, man. To do a bullfight there, it's like, oh man, you're a chingon. Okay, you made it already. And so that summer, the off season, I had an uncle and aunt that lived here in LA, with my grandma. I stayed right here on Gerhardt. The house is still there. And my dad just came, I guess, to visit. And then he met my mom. Well, back then, he met my mom, and, my dad was getting ready to come. And she goes, you ain't going nowhere. You're staying here. I go, why? Because I'm pregnant. And that's when that came out. So, after that, my dad goes, well, that's when his career put it on hold. Why couldn't, can't have a kid and bullfight at the same time. When you have a wife, not knowing if he's going to come home after he comes home from work, because, that was, you know what I mean? So he was still involved with the bullfighting and stuff after that, but he wasn't bullfighting no more. He would do radio broadcasting and everything. I didn't know that. My dad would do the bullfighting from TJ to Mexico, on radio. Yeah, so he still had a lot of connections, but that's when, in 1958, that's when my dad hung up the towel. So, but I know Danny, knowing that his grandfather was a bullfighter, and it took a lot of courage to be a bullfighter, you know what I mean? And, a lot of cojones, and I guess that's where Danny gets it from, you know what I mean? From his grandpa, because, I just played soccer, but that's all I did. But, his grandpa was a bullfighter, and so I think a lot of my dad is in Danny in that aspect, because Danny has a lot of courage, he, not only the bully, but he ain't afraid, I mean, that's Danny, so.
I think about my grandfather that just passed away about 2 years ago. That's my dad's dad. He was real close with me too. And besides him, my mother's mom passed away, and I was real close to her too, because pretty much I was the firstborn grandkid. So I had good ties with my grandparents on both sides of the family. My grandfather, even though I ended up being a full-blown gang member and being the person that I ended up turning into, it never broke the respect and the relationship that I had with that man. Nothing but love. My grandmother, my mother's mom, she passed away when I was a kid, when I was about 5 or 6 years old, something like that, 7 years old. I think it was 7. Long story short, to get back to my grandfather, even though I ended up choosing that lifestyle, he still always never judged me for that. He knew that even though his other grandkids were straight A college students and straight A, straight arrows and shit like that, it didn't take him, it didn't make him love me any less or stuff like that, So I had a good relationship with him, and my grandfather, I remember he used to tell me, es mi nieto el más cabrón, pero eres mi nieto que me quiere más de todos. And I would tell him, hell yeah. And he would recognize that, because sometimes, I'm not trying to throw this out there so much, but sometimes if I would see my dad speaking to him wrong or shit like that, and I would see him getting mistreated because he was getting older and not able to take care of himself, it wasn't going to happen on my clock. While I'm able to witness this shit, it wasn't going to happen. Well, he took it, I'm not saying that he took it good. Yeah, he took it bad, He was close to him. But, at that point, I'm not going to say I was 100% so out of it, but I was just in my own sorrows, because I knew that I was never going to see that man again. Never going to have him ask me to get him a cup of water, stuff like that. Because those were like the last things that he would tell me that I could remember to this day, right before he passed away. And we were like this. And he ended up passing away on Easter Day. And on Easter Day, earlier that morning, I was out partying. Later, that night before, I was out partying, but like around 12:30, I ended up changing, because I was in basketball shorts and like that. Well, not basketball shorts, but regular shorts. And it was getting cold out there. Long story short, I changed. My gramps, I went and I always would check on him, give him a kiss. He asked me to get on a cup of water, and if I could, I seen him kind of a little uncomfortable, so I scooted him up on the bed, helped him out, made sure I covered him and all that stuff, And so that was pretty much the last time that I actually seen him. But I'm able to remember that. He did ask me to get him water. I without him asking me, I scooted him up on the bed, and I would always let him know I love you before I would always leave, no matter what, even if he wouldn't say it or if he was asleep, and kiss him on his forehead, because my gramps would always stick with me for me growing up since I was a little kid, and the things that I would see him do, because he was a bad man. I'm not saying a bad man like an evil man, bad as in badass. He was a full-blown torero. He was a bullfighter in Mexico, and he was broke growing up with my grandmother, my abuelita Petrita. That's my great-grandmother that passed away, that I was real close to anyways, real close to too. And anyways, to get back to what I was telling you, yeah, he was a full-blown bullfighter. He was bad. He has pictures and paintings and the whole pedo. It wasn't just a hearsay, a family myth. It was a known fact. So, he has photos and all that good stuff. Paintings, and he did the thing. That's what I'm able to remember from my gramps. Nothing but good things. And you know what? And that's crazy, because I haven't really even been asked that question since my accident, and even been able to think about that. I'm sure there's things that have came to my mind, little things here and there, but for sure, I know big things that still do stick with me is the people that were close to me that I wasn't able to talk to, whether it was 5 minutes or an hour or a day before they passed away. That's what I regret. Those are my biggest regrets. I wish I could at least heard their voice and talked to them one last time, And And of course, I know I do wish they would have not died, but at this point, you know, life is life, and you got to accept what comes in life, you know? And at this point, what really taught me about being on the streets and the whole gangbanging thing is that when it's your time to go, it's your time to go. And I was able to see that with my own innocent family members that passed away that had nothing to do with, oh, I'm this person, or I'm this person, or I'm doing this, that, so I deserve to die. Nah. So obviously what that told me is it was their time to die. That's when God needed them. I seen people that get once and pass away, or new people that got once and passed away, people that got 9, 10 times and are still alive. So just to, you know.
Yeah, I remember I was at soccer practice because I used to play soccer. Somebody went to tell me, hey, Rosa's having the baby, she's in labor. Oh man, I ran out of there. We were at Whittier Narrows Park and picked her up. She was already at the Beverly Hospital. Yeah, she was already in labor when I walked in, and I barely walked into the room and, you know, took care of business. And when he came out, oh, my mijo, man, I go, let me have him, let me hold him, you know, and it was a blessing. He was my first boy. Oh man, it was everything. I always wanted a boy, and a boy with the name of Danny. So when Danny was born, it was everything for us, for the familia. I mean, everybody had Danny right here, or Danny had everybody right here. You know what I mean? And up to this day, he's still a chiquiado. He still gets everything, but that's my boy. Yeah, it was very exciting. We were happy. Danny was a handful. So when he was a kid, he was a baby. So it was nice. It was, you know, I love my mijo. Danny, I think Danny was, growing up elementary school, even in daycare center, Danny always wanted to be the center of attention. He goes, aquí yo soy el chingón, and that's how it is. And sure enough, you always wanted, you know, to be the leader. And all through growing up, Danny was always a leader. You know, he never followed nobody, they followed him. He got that from his dad, I think. So, no, Danny was like a normal boy. You know, he was into He-Man. That was his first character. I remember, never gonna forget, his abuelita, Hela, bought him a sword and his outfit. Hey, I'm He-Man, you know, and all day con the sword rocking around, swinging his little brothers, you know. I mean, yeah, so that was his first superhero, He-Man. But Danny growing up, you know, he's like a normal kid. You know, wanted everything, you know, played around. Danny was good. He was a good kid. I mean, you know, what kids hacen travesuras, you know, hey, you know, they're normal kids. You know, when he first started talking and everything, Rosa, I remember Rosa would always say, you know, Danny, go ask your father, or go tell your father this. So Danny would come, you know, thinking, hey, Dad, you know, Father, could I have this? Father, could I have that? I mean, it was just, you know, we were used to that. Either, you know, Dad or Papi or, you know, Father, and, you know, it was cute. It was, you know, so that's what, you know, that was one of Danny's originals. When I was at home, we were still living together, because, you know, when I got separated from his mom, I think Danny was in middle school, ready to get into middle school, you know. And Danny was always the example. You know what I mean? We had to show, you know, the little brothers, if you do wrong, this is what's going to happen. I mean, not that we treated him wrong, don't get me wrong, but, oh yeah, being the oldest, you have a lot of pressure, you take a lot of heat, you know what I mean? So, you know, and being the oldest, you expected the oldest to do the right, but as parents, you know, it's our job to teach them how to do the right thing, you know? Not that it always works, but, you know. You know what? At times I was rough with him because it was the oldest, so I expected him to do everything right. I mean, I never, you know, got down and beat him like, you know, back my dad beat me. No, but, you know, come on, you know, and don't do that, you know. I mean, but as a father, you know, I try to do the best to raise them the right way. Their mom did a great job, you know. I mean, you know, I ain't gonna knock that, you know, because they are where they are because of her, you know. And I had them on, how can I say, the recreation time that was when I came in, you know, because I would always play around with them, and, you know, they would spend their summers with me because, you know, hey, let's go with Dad, you know, that's crazy, you know, we could be there all night and, you know, having a good time. I mean, I went to work, they went to work with me, you know, when I was working for a shipping company, Supply, they would go to work with me on Saturdays, on Fridays, and, you know, they're always with me. Danny, you know, being a father, and up to this point, Danny never disrespected me or my father. Danny never talked back. Danny was very respectful, very. And he still is to this day. He'll listen to me and goes, okay, Dad. You know, he don't want to hear it. It probably goes in one ear, comes out the other, but not like he'll say, you know, vete la chingada. No, never like that. Like some kids. And you know, Danny's very respectful. And I thank God for that, you know. I mean, that's my mijo. Danny and all the rest of his brothers, they're all good. You know, it's not like eran unos traviesos. They were kids, like I said before. Kids did what kids did. But, you know, we told them, I would say, hey, don't do this. My dad would tell them, you know, because I used to take care of my father. And no, you know, they listen, you know. I mean, but Danny wasn't, how could I say it? They were good kids, you know. They were good kids, you know. And I had fun growing up I had fun while they grew up with me. You know, the times that they spent with me, the Christmas when they spent with me, when I would hike their bikes across the street at my tia's house and bring them over. And Danny, I got to tell you, Danny was such a snake. Before he got the bikes, he already knew they were getting bikes. He went to my tia's because we stashed them in the sala in the corner, and he already knew he was getting a bike. That's how Danny was. Danny already knew. He just had a way of finding out things, you know, and I cabrón, you know. that's Danny, you know. So I'm never going to forget all that. You know, if I could turn the time back, I mean, I'd do it again and raise my kids again. I mean, it was the most precious thing that you could do, you know. And even, you know, when I had my problems with his mom, I would still be there, started coaching my kids. You know, to be there, I couldn't be without my kids, you know. And Daddy, he followed me all over. Wherever, you know, he was part of me. You know, a lot of his is through me, what I got through my dad, the generations, you know. So what my dad taught me, I taught Danny, and Danny will teach his kids, you know, his girls, you know. So that's the way we are.
I grew up in, my mom and dad got divorced when I was about 4 years old, going on 5. My dad went to East LA to my grandpa's house, and my mom stood in Montebello. And that was pretty much, they never got back together, nothing like that, you know? Because my dad was on drugs, and I was a young kid growing up, having to witness all that. And I used to go with him. They used to do the 2-week thing, but it was 4 boys, me and my 3 brothers. Me and my brother Adrian, my brother Joseph, and Christian. Joseph rested in peace now. Long story short, the twins, Joseph and Christian, they wanted to stay with my mom more. They wouldn't really want to kick it at my dad's as much as me and my brother Adrian would, because pretty much at my dad's, it was do whatever you want. Lizards, do all kinds of crazy shit that little kids want to be doing that are, you know, that mothers wouldn't really allow their kids to do. My dad wouldn't really be witnessing, we would be doing it pretty much behind his back.
Yeah, when he was going to junior high, you know, that's when I saw, you know, because it was lack of, you know, we weren't always there. You know, I wasn't there 24/7. You know, her mom, you know, while she was working and she had to do her thing. And, you know, little by little, he just started, you know, not getting into trouble, not getting into problems, but, you know, you could see that he was already, let me go this highway instead of this way, you know. And you know, me as a parent, and I'm sure his mom, you know, we try to do everything to correct him. I remember his mom would give him, you know, she would call my cousins that were, back then they were regular patrol officers. One was CHP, I mean, LAPD, my cousin Rick, and then his Nino, he was a sheriff. And my cousin Rick, LAPD, he would come and pick him up, take him on car rides, you know, try to see if you get in trouble, this is what's going to happen. Pero Danny, que le valía madre, you know? That's my mijo, you know? And, you know, and so, you know, I mean, you try to guide them, but, you know, there's some, like they say, things happen, you know? So, I mean, like I said, you know, hey, he's not a bad kid, you know, hey. I mean, we all did our thing. You know, I grew up the same way. You know, I never was in gang, because back then, your parents were able to beat the shit you. So my dad agarraba la pinche chancla or the stick and órale, cabrón. The first time I put on my khakis, going to Belvedere, combed my hair back, came home with a Pendleton that I bought at Al's Army and Navy right there on Huerta Boulevard. I was like, chingón. I get home, my dad grabbed the thing and ripped it all apart and beat the shit out of me. Ahorita te voy a quitar los pachucos a chingadazos, digo so. You know, back then it was legal, and I never did that to my kids because I remember what my dad did to me. And then, you know, I remember when he used to beat the shit out of me, and it wasn't a happy story, so I don't want those memories from my kids. That's why I started coaching them in sports at the YMCA. And yeah, so I coached all my kids to, have them next to me and let them play sports. And that was I think that helped them out a lot. I mean, not only him, but everybody, my other sons. And we got closer too. Because you know how, I mean, once you get divorced, it's every other weekend. I needed my kids every day. I couldn't be without my kids, so that's why I took coaching, and we got tighter, and yeah, it was good. I remember, oh yeah, because see, when Danny was going into becoming a freshman in high school, I was living in Pico Rivera, so his mom goes, you know what, you take him, blah, blah, blah. Okay, give him to me, yo me lo llevo. And I signed him up to our rancho, okay? So I would, either me or Monica would take him to school. And we dropped him off. He was going to play on the freshman team and everything, had us clean. And I tell you, Danny was sneaky. We would drop him off, in the front, so then, and he walked into school. But I don't know if you ever been to our rancho. Okay, there's an alley from the front and it ends up in the back in the residential area. So he keep walking and go, oh, let me keep walking. And, me think, and then after school, he'll come out to the front. I go, all right, mijo's going to school. Then so I started getting a call from the dean. I go, que la chingada, here we go again. So, so then we put him into, and then we put him to Salazar, across the street with continuation. He was doing good there, and that's when he met Mimi, who was, and she was a cutie, because I remember when I took Danny to sign him up, and she walked in, and, Danny was already eyeballing her, and, Danny got whatever he wants, he got it. I mean, I got to give him credit on that, man. He had luck. And that's when they had the first baby, Jasmine, with Mimi. We were living in Pico, and well, yeah. What are you gonna do? Things happen, once things happen, and you can't change it. But back to the question you asked me, do I remember the call? Yeah, I remember the call when the dean called me. He goes, Mr. Barajas. I go, yes. And he goes, yeah, well, Danny hasn't been coming to school. What do you mean? I've been taking him every morning. Well, he hasn't been showing up for class. And that's how I found out.
But Danny did touch on you drinking a lot, abuse.
Yeah, I went.
Again, I don't know if you don't want to talk about it.
No, that's
not. I'll cut it out. Like
no,
when he
you know what? I'm not ashamed. When I went through my divorce. I really pounded the I'm not the beat and everything, and started doing stuff, and I'll be honest, I hit it hard for a good 10 years, and it didn't get me nowhere, you know what I mean? But that was my way out of misery and stuff. Pero que misery is just puro pedo just to get high, But I went through a phase. I'm not gonna say I didn't, and yeah, I'm ashamed, but you know what? Hey, what can I say? Look at me now. I'm not that guy anymore, but I never lost a job because of that. I always had my job. What I did after work, that's a different story. But, I did what I did. I have my history, and that was back then, and
when you look at Danny now, like with him with drugs.
Louis, yeah, no, I know where you're going at. No, Louis, I know where you're going at. Louis, I'm going to tell you something, Yes, it bothers me, but then at the same time, like what example did I show him when I was going through all that? Because that's when he would be hanging out with me So he saw it, I mean, he didn't see me, getting all. I mean, but you know what I'm saying, and he was, he didn't see me doing during the rest. No, I'm not saying nothing like that. I didn't do stuff in front of him, but he was with me, So I can't blame him in that aspect. I mean, hey, nobody's perfect, I mean, it's like Danny, he gets out of control, nothing like that, I mean, hey, there's no when to say when, bottom line, and I blame myself for that. But what am I gonna do? Sorry, I up, and that's the only thing that I wish I could go back. You know what I mean? And redo again. So I would, pero, and I'm not gonna lie. I mean, yeah, it's it's embarrassing. I feel shame to talk about it, but hey, it happened. I did it. What am I gonna do? I mean, I said, me pendejo. Oh no, I've been clean. I never did this. Everybody's done something in their life. Don't give me that. I mean, so, pero you live and learn, Louis. You know what I mean? But like I said, to Danny, hey, I mean, Danny does his thing, and I mean, hey, who is he hurting? Not hurting nobody. I mean, himself, his body. I eat a lot of candy. I mean, I drink a lot of soda. I ain't supposed to do that because of, my heart and all that. But hey, me vale madre, so. But, that's just life, man. That's just the way life is, so. But, yeah, I mean, I wish he wouldn't do it, but hey, that's, you wish a lot of things on your kids that they won't do, And the more you tell them no, the more they do it, just one of those things. So, but yeah, I take blame on that.
Yeah, that stupid that.
By the time you come back, me and you will have a place probably gonna get it this week.
Sweet, man. That's
Sweet
good.
ass spot.
But the good thing is I know you're my boy and you always.
I'm not saying that, I'm just telling you, Dick.
Oh, no. I know. Gracias. Appreciate that ways. I'm not looking. I'm glad that you told me that open.
Oh, okay. No problem. What are we doing right here?
You guys can move out.
Well, thanks.
But I was gonna move him in.
I had you guys solo, man. Let me have them solo. So.
This is mine now.
Yeah, me solo. No, so.
Yeah, we're working.
You recorded?
I started gangbanging. Exactly, I'm gonna say full blown officially. You could say by the time I was like 11, 12 years old, 12 for sure, because 12 was when I was in 6th grade. That's when I had pretty much at that moment chose which lifestyle I was gonna follow, and I started smoking weed, and my mom caught me with weed in the house, smoking, and it was a big thing. So kicking it, doing nothing but ruckus, 13 comes, finally about, I wanna say, it's so crazy how I remember this. I'm gonna say about 9 or 10 days exactly before my birthday, and my birthday is March 12th. When I was 13, about to turn 14, is when I got jumped into my neighborhood. And I wasn't just a little cat that got forced in. I was over here stealing my family's and doing some dramatic shit, some crazy ass shit. So where I remember not just my gang that I chose to get into, but 2 or 3 or even 4 other gangs that I could remember in my head asking me to get into their gang. Hey, can you please come join us? Because they already knew that I was with the business. I wasn't scared to and doing a bunch of dramatic shit that was and ask for, at that time. Like, are you down, motherfucker, or you a scared motherfucker? And obviously I was a little boy at that time, but still doing knucklehead shit, So exactly jumped into the gang, I was 13, right before I turned 14. Oh yeah, I went all the way, full blown to just right before my accident when I was in a coma and all that shit. Because we have different cliques. Full blown on the map with the big boys, and I'm not gonna get too dramatic into that, but Eastside 213 gang, that's where I'm from. And we got Southside Vado 213 and Maywood. So I was pretty much being the full blown rep for my hood right before my accident, which was about 6 months ago. Which was, I'm not saying that they had to listen to me, because pretty much if they didn't listen to me, they were gonna end up getting beat up if I wasn't the right. Because I was taking care of collecting and doing all that shit comes with it. So I'm not trying to speak so much on this camera. Gente know why, but You know, pretty much that's what's what. I could say, hey, you know what? I got to a point to where I could, you know, take it to the next level and you know what? I mean, I guess that's the life that I chose, and I'm still here to be alive and actually speak what's on my mind, and I got nothing but love for the little homies, the ones that have the right head in their mind, not just, oh, I want to join a gang because I want to look cool to this chick. No. That's because it's in you, and that's what you decide to do. Not because later on you're gonna rank the barrio or you're gonna be a rat to go snitch to the Judas and like that. You know what? You know, so
What's your water mean to you?
my motto mean to me, pretty much it is me. It's not what it means to me, it is me. How my daughters are me, and how you know, my mother and father and brothers are me. I can't change that. So that's how my motto's looked at in my eyes, you know. It's not even something to even stop and think about me being the person that I was. And you know, I had a lot of responsibilities because I was able to, you know, to come back and start looking at my stuff that I was with before my accident and say, okay, damn, this is what I was doing. I was responsible for this. And damn, you know, and I'm talking about association as far as me having my whole hood put together. And you're youngsters and okay, you want to prove yourself? Go ahead, homie. You know? So pretty much that.
And then when Mimi called me, I'm not gonna forget that, when he got one time right there, he was walking home from her house, going to our house where we lived in Pico, when they shot him in the leg, and jeez, God, man, when I heard that, it's like, oh my, you don't know how to expect. So, you know, then we go to the Whittier Presbyterian, and, you know, it just happened that, you know, it got shot in the knee, but it went under the knee, so not even, I mean, he got lucky. He didn't blow his kneecap, but it's like, you know, you hear something happens to your son. Us as Hispanics, we're very overprotective of our kids. No matter how old they are, they're always going to be your mijos or your mijas. That's how we are. Like I tell my kids, you know, I don't care how big you are. I still tell you I love you. I'm still going to hug you and kiss you. You're my mijo, you always be my mijo. And when they call me for Danny, God, it's like, Jesus, man. You know, I mean, it's like, you know, I couldn't even drive. Monica had to drive me to the hospital because, you know, you're all shooken up and you always think to the worst because they don't tell you exactly what happened. Your son's been shot. You need to come, you know, to the hospital. So
Yeah, I've been in my leg, my left leg, got into many different outs. But when I got the first time, I was 16 years old, walking over there in Pico, right there by Rancho High School. I'm walking. I just finished going to my first baby's mom, Mimi's homegirl Gina, asking her for a ride. Oh no, I can't give you a ride. I said, F it. Walked to Wera, which is in a wheelchair, OG Wera, to see if I could just go and get in the pad. Nobody answered the door. I said, F it. I started walking by Miller, adult school, Smith Park, walking towards, I guess, what is it, Rosemead. And I see a carload phone. I turn around and look, and a car turns. I think it was a black Honda, if I remember right, on rims and shit. Long story short, they roll up to me. Hey, homie, where you from, ese? This is Los 13 gang. This is so-and-so. You know, I'm gonna full-blown be change. This is so-and-so. I wasn't their hood. I knew that. She said, hey, homie, I give a about a 213. Boom. So they start about the third hits me in the leg. And I'm like, so I get up, hopping. That car takes off. Keep on blasting, whatever. I get in. I go to Gina's. I knock again. I go, hey, Gina, I just got shot. She goes, oh, I heard all those shots. I go, you know what? Do me a favor. Do me a bottle and take me to have this checked out. So she took me to Whittier Presbyterian. Stopped by my baby's mom's house, picked her up. She started crying, whatever. Told her, don't trip. I'm cool. I remember looking at my leg. It was like a dime size of blood, not stop leaking straight. So, you know, just and didn't want to make the situation any worse, so started rolling a leño on the way to the hospital while I was shot, breaking up a started burning my dog, smoked my all the way to the hospital, and ended up being cool because it missed my two main arteries. It went just in and out pretty much my left leg, so had got stabbed. It wasn't a full-blown stabbing. It was like pretty much like a slice because I ducked and moved, and it was a big old fight, so pretty much that's what's going on. And it's funny because I wasn't able to remember what I'm going to tell you until right now because of my accident. My accident I was in a coma and all that shit. 2 blood clots, 8 broken ribs, all that pedo. Long story short, to get back what I'm talking about.
And when I walked in, when Alex coming, I walked into the room and I saw Danny. I saw the same, oh my God, here we go again. I saw it wasn't for David that was there to help me, to hold me, because I just like, everything, I went drained, I mean, I just started crying and I go, oh my God, here we go again. I mean, because you always think the worst, Louis. I mean, I thought my son was gone, and I mean, God. But thank God, he salió, everything came out, came out of it.
And even though I did get in a dramatic accident and it fucked up my memory, I wasn't even able at this point to even, now that I'm able to have people even tell me, because I'm not even able to remember this, but I wasn't even able to remember my name, my real name, where I was at, what had happened, just all that stuff, all of the above. It was that bad. So for some reason, I must be right here speaking to you about this whole situation, and that's what's what.
And then now with the accident that he had 2 years ago, God, that was, God. When I walked in, I lost a son already. His brother, Danny's brother, Joseph, he passed away at the age of 15. And when I walked into the hospital and I saw his brother with all these, wires and everything connected, and when they called me, because they were looking for me because they couldn't find me, they didn't know where I lived. When I went to the hospital to see Danny, and I saw exactly the same thing. God, to Louis, you don't know what came through me, man. I mean, one of his friends was there, David. I mean, I just hugged him and started crying. Because like, oh man, not again. Because I thought he was going to be a goner. I mean, he was on life support. I mean, you saw him just laying there. I mean, that's my mijo. Come on, you can't take my mijo away, and God, Louis. But thank God, he came out of it, all my tias, and I mean, I'm sure his mom también, had everybody praying for him, and, I guess all the prayers, they all got together, and, I mean, at that time I saw all the love that people have for my son. I mean, I go, wow, I know Danny, everybody knew everybody, but ahí te diste cuenta who is who, in times like that. But, no, I mean, I remember that New Year's Eve, I spent the whole night with my son to say, Happy New Year, mijo. I was there the whole night with him, even though he was out, on life support, but, and, I mean, he was just out. I mean, he he wouldn't move. He was just laying there like in a coma, you know what I mean? And I thought it was a goner, because it happened, like the accident happened like on a Sunday night, you know what I mean? And that was when Christmas was on Friday, so Thursday night was New Year's Eve, that from that weekend. So he was there for like a whole week under life support, and so like the Saturday, Sunday, that's when he came out of it. But no, man, it's like I was just praying, don't take another son from me, I supposed to go, not him. Pero, hey man, God was on his side, and but that was scary. That really, God. Oh yeah, well, they kept saying that, they just had to wait. They just had to wait because, he went into a coma, and we had to wait, to see what was going to come out, and I mean, everything, I mean, it was just a thing of waiting. That's all it was. That's what they told us. It's just a thing of waiting. They would do tests and this and that and, all this stuff, and we just had to wait and wait. Finally, when he opened his eyes, man, I mean, word got out. It's like, man, put it on the Goodyear blimp. Danny's awake, and man, we all ran over there and, and getting him back because he lost a lot of his memory. He went through a lot. We had him at the rehab over here in Downey. you know, where he had to remember how to say his name and all, like starting all over. So we went through a long process with Danny. It was, God. I mean, we went through a lot with Danny, and
Who called you to let you know? Was it the
his friend Alex. His friend Alex, he went to where I used to live. I was living here. He went to the apartment where I was living at, and he told the landlord, I wasn't living there no more because I was living here on Gerhardt. And he goes, I'm looking for the dad. Danny, his son had a bad blah, 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 whatever. So the landlord gave me my cell, and he calls me. It was a Monday. I was here at the house. And my car was in the shop, so I was waiting for my ride to get here to take me to pick up my car. One of my friends, I go, you know what, take me to the general hospital. I got to go Monday morning. So there I got there, and right away, and Alex, his friend, called me, and like I said, and he met me at the door, and he just gave me a rundown of what was going on, and after that, that's when the nurse, paperwork and all this, but Alex called me, his friend, so I thank him a lot.
And Danny said that even the priest had given him his last rites?
Yeah, the priest went and everything. The priest showed the priest from the church, from the hospital. I wasn't there when it happened. His mom was there, but yeah, the church went because we thought he wasn't gonna, he wasn't coming out of it, and it was,
At this moment, I'm able, obviously, because people that were with me when I got in that accident had told me what that were with me at that moment, but I'm able to know that I was at this place partying, at that place having a drink, at this place this, that. But to tell you, oh yeah, I remember I turned on that street. Nothing. Not even able to remember, oh yeah, I remember the accident. Nah, all I remember is that instead of where they pump gas, where you actually pump it, where that when you plug that back up in, instead of crashing into that, all I remember is that I turned the wheel. That's all I'm able to remember. And boom, crashed, hit a big pole, not a little skinny pole, and I ended up getting into a coma. And instead of them just taking me to the hospital that was down the street, that's why I had to go all the way to General Hospital, because I needed a brain trauma center. So it was that serious. Yeah.
How long were you in the coma for?
In the coma for about 4 or 5 days. In the hospital altogether for about 2 months, and I want to say about 2 weeks. And the doctors had even told my mom, your son's living a miracle, because we had just finished telling you not even a week ago that your son was going to be getting released from the hospital. It's looking at about 1 year to 1.5 years at this point. And they were just tripping out in amazement, like,
How bad was your body?
Shit, it was bad.
Swollen?
Yeah, well, I'm not even able to remember that I was swollen, but I seen pictures, and even though when my brain had came back, because even though I woke up from the coma, I wasn't able to, oh yeah, you know what, I'm back from the coma. How you doing? Good to see you, uncle. I was lost. I remembered my homeboys from my hood. That trips me out, especially my close homeboys. I remembered my close family. Obviously, my mom, my brothers, my dad, like that, things like that, people like that. But yeah, it was a pretty bad situation. Okay, the day that I left the hospital.
Yeah.
Okay, I know that it felt like weird just to see the outside, but it was even weird just to drive in a car with my tia Angelita, which is my aunt Angelina, my mom's little sister. I'm real close to her while I was growing up. She's the one that took me. But to get back to what I was telling you, see how it slipped my mind like that. When I woke up from the coma, I wasn't able to be back cool 100%. I was having conversations with a blank chair, with a chair and no one was sitting there, and I was naming 2 people that had got reminded of me. Naomi, that was like my tia. She watched me grow up since I was 13 years old, let me live in her house and all that. She's resting in peace already. And I named her. And another person is my homeboy Downer, Big Downer, Rudy. And he's busted. And I was talking to him, and my own homeboys and family were asking the doctor, hey, is he ever gonna come back to normal again? And only time will tell is what the doctors had always told him, And so it was that serious.
There's occasions where people say that when they're in a coma, that they experience something. Whether they meet a dead family member, they see a light. Do you remember anything?
No, and that's so crazy though that you brought that up, because for some reason I said that lady's name and I looked at her. I'm pretty much like a full-blown family member. I'm not gonna say a full-blown mom, but she used to look after me almost like a full-blown mom. So I looked at her at least like a good aunt, and she wasn't, but she passed away. So who knows? At this point, I'm not able to remember, but at that point, my mind was so messed up, and I brought her name up, and I was speaking to a blank chair. So who knows if her soul or her spirit was there, and I was able to see that at that time. That's why she got brought up, but it was weird, because even her daughter, Erica, had went in to see me in the hospital. She's like a full-blown cousin of me. I got nothing but love and respect for her and her whole family from her other sisters and stuff like that. Long story short, I had even asked her, also, tell your mom I said hi and this and that when she was leaving the hospital. And she didn't say, oh, my mom's dead. She just went along with it until now, when I'm able to ask her about the whole conversation. She even tells me and asks me, do you remember when you had said so and such about my mom, or this and this and that? And I said, no. And she goes, wow, this is what happened. And I'm just like, obviously what that tells me is that it wasn't just a fake thing. It was really held close to my heart, the friendship that I had with her and the relationship. Because, you know, it must have happened for some reason. So
you had other passengers with you in the car?
Yeah.
And how'd they end up? They made it out?
They were cool because they had their seatbelt on. And I had no seatbelt on, crashed going about 80 miles per hour. When I had asked the passenger, which her name is Alyssa, she had her seatbelt on, her cousin was in the back, Selena. When she said when I crashed, I went straight, my head hit the windshield first, I came back, and then I hit the, I think it's the dash or something like that, where the air conditioner comes out. And that's why where this tattoo's at, you can see coming up, there's like 2 lines, and those 2 lines are scars, just that you can see real quick from that accident, from the air conditioner. These scars on my head right here are also from the thing. These scars over here, I got a couple little ones. I don't got any dramatic looking scars, but I'm just glad to be alive, you know. But yeah, it wasn't really dramatic. Just because you can't see a little scar, you say, that's nothing. It was pretty serious. Blessing me with some, something else.
Okay, you're gonna have to open your eyes a little bit since they're like a little bit red right now. Okay, let me have you to the angle yourself like that. And then turn your head this way. There you go.
Since you look a little dopey. I'm sorry.
I was all fucking Just relax, man. Relax. Keep your comments to yourself. No?
Oh yeah. We have a few more.
Real window. No. Like that. They were jocking that shit. My boys, they get nothing but props.
Oh,
The whole crowd, had the whole crowd jumping, fool. Because yesterday was 420 right here in downtown. So they made a big deal at every pretty much medical clinic, dispensary. And a good homie of mine, actually a group of homies, they own pretty much like the main crowd one in downtown LA. So DJ Quick was right there. His little camp, he performed about 2 or 3 tracks. He did Tonight. He did a few other tracks, dog. Another day, another dollar. But like I said about that motherfucking track I'm about to bless tonight, I hate him with. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Like that. And actually what I said is, you see, don't want to burn it, but
You know what, Louis? I'm gonna be honest. I'm old school. Hey, give me that you know, Angel Baby, I'm your puppet. That's me, you know. But this rap stuff, you know, that's their music. If that's what he wants and that's what he likes, more power to him. I'll support him. Whatever support I could give him, you know, yeah, I'm there for him. There was, one time I was going to go to San Pedro. They were having a big gig there. He was going to sing and stuff, and I wanted to go, but I couldn't make it last minute. And you know what I mean? And that was my chance to go see him, because I never seen him perform. You know, I heard his music, you know, and it don't sound like him. It goes, man, that's good, you know. I go, when are you going to make a song like about your dad? You know, so, but I support him, Louis, you know. I mean, because I know that's what he's good at. I mean, and I mean, everybody that I speak to, they say, oh, yeah, you know. I mean, he's, you know, it's chingon, you know. And I'm sure his, you know, the other guys también, you know, not just Danny, you know, they all, it's a team, you know. So, you know, hey, I wish them all the power and the best of luck, and, you know, I hope they succeed. You know, do something about this, what they're, you know, what they're striving for. Because I know, I mean, when my dad was alive, Louis, and even after he passed, Danny would lock in. Danny would use a lot of my music. I mean, I don't know if he uses it in his, but a lot of my old music, and he would lock himself in the room for hours. Go, you know, what are you doing? He have his little CD player, and he'll be writing his music to the beat of my old school music. And I go, God, you know, I mean, I go, Mijo, you're pretty talented, you know, to do your music, to do the lyrics, you know, out of, you know, listening to my music from my time, or our music, you know, all those veteranos, you know. I mean, you know, that's how Danny, he would sit there for hours, man. And yeah, but I guess that's how you become successful, and that's why I guess his music is, you know, everybody likes his music, you know, because what he expresses when he sings, it's all true, you know. Because I know Danny's family oriented, so I know he uses a lot of, you know, in his music, you know, he expresses it, you know, so. But yeah, no, I mean, I remember that, because, you know, he'll be, hey, I want my CD back, I want to hear it, you know. No, Dad, wait, hold on, don't bother me. You know, he'll be with his notebook there, page after page, and, you know, oh, estos sound good, you know, pura basura. Yeah, he took time. That I could vouch, because I've been there when I seen him. So he'd lock himself in the room. He didn't want nobody bothering him, not even his father. And he'll be there just, and my grandpa, after my dad passed away, he'll go into my dad's room, and he'll sit there in the same chair where my dad sat and play music and start writing, you know, I guess his music and stuff. So that's, you know, where Danny got his talent. I mean, he's talented in that. So I wish I had that. You think I know it's puro volver, you know, so, but yeah.
The music thing, that's funny you said that, how it exactly got started. I used to around with beats that were already not even made, not even blank beats, that I would hear songs and say the song would have a couple seconds where he's not rapping, I would use that and start filling that. Then when I went up north, and this was pretty much where I had started really getting onto that was in the city of Whittier and Uptown Whittier, and Whittier Valerrock was his hood. That's where I lived with my first daughter. My mom was helping us out financially, and I used to go into the restroom and, you know, get my smoke on and start with that. Then when I went, I was already, you know, got the ball rolling. I went up north, and pretty much, hold on, to take it back, I grew up listening to Spice One, Brother Lynch, which is Black Market, Mr. Dr. X, not just RBL Posse, Snoop Dogg, of course, Dr. Dre, NWA, all that. But to get back, what I wanted to point out to you is that a lot of the rap that we grew up, when I say we, is me and my peers, which are homeboys or my casual friends. We grew up listening to a lot of music that came from up north. You know, even though I got no love for norteños, it ain't 14, it's all about the 1-3, the 13, the 13. That's where I chose to live, you know. Long story short, I know that a lot of good artists came from up there. So when I went up there, I was tripping out on the whole environment, because up there, the Southsiders that lived up there that were claiming the Sur, which it was already up north, and I got nothing but love for them, and I showed them nothing but love and how to be. Were really behind schedule. They were still wearing things that I was wearing, and this was already the 2000s. They were wearing things that I was wearing in the early 90s, in the mid 90s. I'm over here with the new stilo. I had hyenas telling me, I never thought that I would ever be with a fucking Sureño in my life and a Southsider, because I came with a different stilo. I'm a real Southsider. I was born and raised in Southern California, you know, so I was able to show them a lot of different things, you know. So long story short, of course I ain't gonna kick it with no busters. I don't give a even if I would like to and even if they're the only motherfuckers that have weed, I don't give a It ain't crazy. So of course I'm gonna go look and spread my word around, and I ended up hooking up with some GFCs, Gangster Family Crips. These were Crips that were from up there, Northern Cali. When I represented myself as a Sureño and all that, he goes, feed man. Since one of the OG that was right there had been to prison, he knew a lot of good Southside homies. So he showed me nothing but love. He's the one that full blown took it to the next level, because I used to like weed and I still, you know, do my thing. Long story short, they're smoking at a table of some. The only thing that was asked is, check this out. You want to hit that? Fine. You got to spit some shit. So there's like about, say, 8 people at a table smoking 2 blunts, 3 blunts. They got beats playing. So when the blunt passes to you and you finish exhaling and passing it to the next guy, you got to be spitting your shit until that guy's done. Then when he's done, that's when you pass it to him. So that's how it got started on the next level, because even one of the cats that was there had rapped and done songs with X-Rated, which is a homeboy that's a good cat that I grew up listening to. He had done music with him, and you know, it was a good thing. So that's what had put me really full blown, got my key started on the whole thing. You know, even though I had always loved music and I'd always had it in my soul, nobody told me, oh, you should do this. Nah, it was me on my own doing it, you know. Pretty much at this point, everyone was, I'm not going to say full blown doing their own thing, but everyone had their own projects in line. Besides that, they might have been doing a song here, a song there, or an album over here with this person. Little by little, it was cracking. So Jokes and Siphon, which they're both my boys. I'm the one that pretty much collabed them, connected them, and introduced them, and was able to vouch for each and one of them, telling them like, look, he's cool in the house. Don't worry about it. Nothing gets stolen. Look, he's a good homeboy. Nothing, you know. When I was in my accident, before my accident, I used to be nonstop in the studio doing songs for the of it. I didn't give a if I wasn't getting paid for it, or if someone needed me to do a song. I would just do it just for the of it, because I love music, you know. So I had songs collecting, and Baby Jokes and Siphon were doing an album already, and I had came out of the hospital finally in about mid-February of 2010, and I was able to talk to them like, hey, well, how do you guys feel if I join you guys in the whole collab and the album, the collaboration, and I could add, and I have a couple good songs to add to the list. I'm not gonna just put some whatever songs. I'm gonna put some what we call bangers, which is heat rock, some ass tracks, you know. So that's how I ended up jumping on the bandwagon, pretty much, you could say. You know, pitched in Feria, and we're getting the album pressed up. Pretty much, you know. Gracias for taking the time to either watch this video or even listen to one of my songs. I got nothing but love, you know? And just know that I'm a real individual from the streets. I ain't this fake cat that, oh, you know what, I turned 21, let me join a gang now. Nah, my shit that I speak about and I rap about is real. It's from my heart. And you know, that's how I can let my fans know. Got nothing but love and respect. Stay up and stay bumping that gangster shit.
Danny started coming around. He was kind of like the last one to show up, you know, for some reason. And we started doing his solo album maybe about 3 years ago. And I had just done actually I was just doing features for him on some other albums. And then we started working on his solo stuff. And right now I'm actually doing his, I have about 4 tracks on his solo album. So that's how we became, we've known each other, and then we became friends, you know, because I'm real tight with Charlie Roll and everybody else, you know, and because we do a lot of work together, you know. I do a lot of stuff for King, so we spend, you know, sometimes 12, 14 hours in here, just so you get to know somebody, you know. And I got to know Danny and his story and his car crash and everything else in between. And, you know, heard the horrible news. And when he finally came back to the studio, they were telling me that it was going to be a little rough, which I don't recall it being rough. I mean, I remember pretty much nailing it, you know, and him being back to normal. So, but he made a quick recovery for what he went through, man. So I'm super impressed about that, you know. Danny has the ultimate West Coast swag, straight up. Ain't nobody like him, you know. He's a very talented guy. He was actually just here a while ago, so that's Danny. Like it, he gets it, but once he gets him done, man, he's back there. He's behind the mic, just spitting fire. So as long as it comes out good and we have a solid product, take all the time you want, you know. But yeah, he's super talented. And of course, my that didn't sound right. Of course, Danny Jasper, aka Jasper, is he's still doing it, man. He's gonna be around for a long time, and he's slowly gaining a bigger popularity as the more D Salas beats he gets. We got some heat coming. Keep a lookout.
What's happening? It's your boy Jasper Local from that Charlie Roll. Posted right here with the homie Syph. And just keeping the ball rolling, dog, keeping it moving. For you motherfuckers out there feeling the music, that's right. Gracias. You know, and we're doing a little mixtape. The homie Syph is about to drop one. And me and Jokes got our solos coming out in a few months, so be looking out for that. Go ahead and let them know. A little something on that, dog.
Of course, Jasper's gonna be on there.
And then me and the homie Feisty, Jokes, we're working on a new Charlie Roll project, so we're keeping the ball rolling, dog. What's up, Chino G, Little Minor? Stay strong, homie. Be seeing you guys soon, dog. That's right, Louis. Gracias, homie. Stay up, dog.
I know they miss him, you know what I mean? And you know, and when it comes to that, you know, Danny's, you know, he takes control of his 2 brothers, and say, you know, hey, we gotta, you know, he keeps them strong. I know that for a fact, you know. Danny is what he is. Danny is Danny. You know, everybody has, como, like we say in Mexican, cada cabeza es su mundo. So, you know, and Danny's Danny. But Danny, when it comes to the familia thing, you know, he keeps everybody on check, you know, makes sure. Let me give you an example about Father's Day. Father's Day weekend, I have a nephew, their cousin. He was working in Texas, security officer. He was driving home for Father's Day. That Thursday morning, I guess he fell asleep on the wheel and he flipped his car. I mean, it was so bad. I mean, they cremated the body because they couldn't recognize the face. That's how bad it was. So they had a memorial, you know, they had a mass for him too, you know, over there in Vista, Oceanside, where my cousin lived. So Christian, Danny, and myself went. My other nephews, after mass, when we got together at the house, Danny got all my nephews, you know, their brother, and Danny told them, I go, look, you know, this, you know, and everybody saw, and they go, you know, they gave Danny a lot of credit, you know, because he talked to my nephews to say, you know, we went through that when Joseph passed away. I go, you got to remember, you know, I don't know what Danny told them, but I was all, you know, words of encouragement. And that's Danny, you know what I mean? And so, you know, after, you know, I guess it helped out my nephews because, I mean, they were really down and out before the mass. God, pobrecitos, you know. And so Danny, you know, gave him a little pep talk and, you know, and put them all on check and everything was cool, you know, just, you know, to bring their spirits up, you know, because Danny's been there, so he could explain to them, so. And like I said, my cousins are all, you know, oh, thank you, mijo, thank you, Dad, you know. Because, you know, if you don't experience it, you don't know what to say, you know. But you had to be there to, you know. You know what, Louis? I'm going to be honest with you. I've been open with my kids, you know. I mean, you know, we speak, and you know, we talk like friends. There's nothing that we're hiding, because even bad things, you know, when I have a problem, you know, I call Danny, you know, hey, this is happening, you know, just be on the lookout, or you know, just whatever. We never kept nothing from each other. I don't know if they have from me, but you know, at least Danny, I always, being my oldest, he's more like me. I mean, you know, grew up in Navarro, you know what I'm saying? We're more in common. Not that I don't with my other sons, you know, don't get me wrong, because I'm not putting them aside. But Danny and I have that special bonding where, you know, it just, where we talk to each other, and he goes, all right, Dad, you know, and he hears me out, and, you know, and I'm not going to say, you know, mijo, I love you, because I tell him every time I talk to him. So and I tell the other two también, you know. The only thing I want is that, you know, just keep us tight, you know, be a good dad to your daughters. And man, I hope you make it big with this. You know what I mean? Because, you know, I'm sick of living in here. No. But, you know, no, I just wish him the best of luck, you know. And, you know, like I said, you know, I'm not going to say something here that he really doesn't know, you know. And I'm not ashamed, again, to say, mijo, I love you. You know, and hey, keep up the good work, and I wish you the best of luck, and your buddies. Yeah, my sons, I love them all, you know. You can't love your sons, you know, like to say, oh, I love you this way. I love my kids all the same. I love them all. They're all my mijos, and they'll be my mijos to the day I die, you know. And, you know, that's why when you told me about this for Danny, you know, and then, I mean, I got excited. I got excited for my son, for what he's doing, for what he's trying to do. Because, you know, Danny has struggled a lot in life. And, you know, and as a parent, you want the best for your sons. You want them to be better than you are. You know what I mean? That's life, you know. That's how we think, you know. We'll do anything for our kids. You know, we bend over backwards. Aunque nos quedemos sin un penny para atrás. Whatever, you know, we're always there for our kids. Excuse me. That's why, you know, when you told me, Louis, and, you know, it's like, God, you know, last night when we spoke, last night after I read your letter, that got to me big time. That really got to me. It really got to me, and I go, oh, you know what? That's por eso te hablé right away. And when I called Danny, he was all excited, and, you know, and I wish the best, you know, hope everything turns out right, and, you know.
Yeah, actually, I do. I got 3 little girls. One when I was 16, I turned 17 when she was born, my daughter Jasmine, and then Shali and Mia. Shali just turned 6, and then Mia's 4. And they're from my second baby's mom, Francesca. But they live in Arizona. You know?
What does it mean to you?
I mean, everything. That's why I'm trying to change things up now in my life, you know? Trying to live and be a better person, because obviously my daughters are getting older and getting big, and I don't want them to look at me and say, you know what, and I'm over here being a fool or whatever it is. I don't want them to think that that's okay, and them in the future, I know obviously they're going to end up having boyfriends sooner or later. It's part of life. I don't want them to say, oh, it's okay to have that kind of a dude as a boyfriend, you know? So that's pretty much what's going on with that. Nothing but love to him and respect, and I wish him nothing but the best. So, well, obviously at this point, I'm not gonna say, oh, I'm Mr. Tough. Look at me, I'm unstoppable. Nah, I still feel, and I carry that with me. When it's your time to die, it's your time to die. Yeah, the only, not the only, but the main thing that comes to my heart is my little girls. I want to stay alive for them, so I could protect them while they grow up. So I don't have motherfuckers trying to take advantage of them, and I could school them, and I could talk to them and let them know what's what, you know? Because that's pretty much my main you know, go and focus and what sticks to my mind and what sticks to my heart. Oh, I always let them know every day. Tell them, you know what, mamas, I love you. You know you're my princess. I want you to be a good girl. You listen to your mommy. You listen to your grandma, and you don't fight with your sisters. You know, and I always let them know, you know, if anyone's being mean to you or hits you or is you where you're not supposed to be, you go let your family know, which is your grandma or your mom and stuff like that. So I pretty much put them up on their toes on what's what, because obviously I'm right here, born and raised in LA, East LA, which is pretty much, I'm not just looking at one city, I'm looking at the overall world the way it is. But I know there's some pretty sick motherfuckers that choose to live that life that I ain't, you know? And of course, how other motherfuckers always say, but I ain't other motherfuckers. Let motherfuckers I take it to the next level with my little girls, then for sure you're gonna have a price to pay. I'm not gonna threaten you because me and you we're talking on video. So that's what I'm gonna leave it as.
The only thing I would change is, well, that's between his mom and me. You know, I just wish we would have still kept together. I mean, you know, I'm not going to get into details, but, you know, I think there ain't nothing wrong with my kids right now. You know what I mean? But, and I don't, you know, being together, just being together, watching them grow, the two of us together. That's, I mean, because my kids, you know, it's not like, you know, there's nothing wrong with them, you know? I mean, regardless if we were together or not, but just to be united as a family. But yeah, you know, happens, man. So, you know, can't cry over spilled milk, like they said. You up, Julio, and that's it. Bueno, okay, pues para que se te quite lo pendejo. So, I mean, sorry to put it in those words, but but I wouldn't turning back. That's how I think, because I had as a kids growing up, my kids, we had a great time. There was 99% good times, 1% bad times, and which was what? Oh, I cut my finger or something like that, but we had good times. Holidays, everything, we had good times. I mean, I look back, and if I could do it again, just to live that life again, because we had fun, we'd do it again. But yeah, looking back, it's no regrets whatsoever, Louis. No regrets, you know. We had a good time with all my kids, you know. And I still do when I see them. When we once in a while, we still get together, the four of us, and you know, I fly Adrian in, or he comes down for something, and we do it make it a point to hang out, the four of us, at least for, you know, half a day or something. You know, it just, we keep that bond between us, you know, that Barajas bond, you know. So, but no regrets. I'm happy with my kids, and with everybody, you know, all three kids, whatever career they choose, you know, they have my support, and you know, just wish them the best of luck.
All I could do is have a strong faith and let you know the realness, and I hope, because I know that my brother, pretty much at this point, what I've always felt growing up, who's looking after me and who's helping me out and having my back, is my mother's mom, my abuelita, my grandma Hela. My grandma Hela, because I know that she was real protective and a real strong woman and like that, you know? So that's what's been sticking by my heart. Not to say that I don't want none of my other family members that are in heaven and stuff to keep an eye over me. Of course I do. But what do I remember now? That, as of that question you asked me, that's what's what.
And you believe in a heaven, in a God?
Yeah, of course. Pray to God, and you know, me growing up, my great grandma, which is my dad's grandma, which was my dad's mom, always taught me a lot of different prayers in Spanish growing up that I would keep to my heart. And even to this day, I'm even able to recite some in the morning or to myself or whatever, you know, ones that I just keep to myself, even if I don't really even let my parents hear it, or my brother hear it, or my girlfriend, or this girl, anyone. I say it to myself. And as long as I'm saying it in my heart and in my mind, then I keep faith with myself, you know. Pretty much, the only thing I'm able to remember, even though I'm able to remember her constantly praying for me and stuff like that. But to full blown, actually reminisce on one, on the whole situation, all that comes to my head is one, and I'm not even able to say it to you in confidence and stuff like that. So I wouldn't even want to look dumb, So hopefully in the future, I'm able to handle that. But yeah, that's what's going on.
Does your God have a name?
Yeah, Jesus. And, Jesus Christ, Jesus, God Almighty. I grew up, my family's real Catholic, so I believe we have saints and all that, the Virgin Mary and stuff like that. So,
What is like you see a lot of homeboys like at beach. What do you feel about that? Do you believe that that's real, or a lot of them are just posers?
well, I can't really hate on that whole situation because I'm not there inspecting them. But I'm sure that, there must be some kind of, some kind of fakeness. I want to hope for the best. I don't want to hate on the situation. So all I could hope is for the best. And hopefully there is real cats in there. Just got to say thank you to Lord, straight up. Thank you to God. To my Lord, Gracias for letting me live. Must be here for some reason. And nothing but love to all my family and all my people. I stay loving the motherfucker. My goals in life are to be able to purchase a couple houses and have a couple cars and provide a better life, obviously, that I grew up living for my kids and to succeed, whether it's in music, whether it's in running businesses and just stuff like that, so glad to be able to be alive,
So what's been going on?
Just all kinds of shit, homie. You know me, dog, just strictly.
From your accident, you had to serve time, right?
Yeah. Just had to go into the county jail real quick. Supposed to be in there for about 6 months, but just like us fellas knowing right here in LA, motherfuckers so packed, you don't do all your time, you get booted out quick. So I was tripping out because usually, even if I got to do a week in the county, they be shipping to Wayside, just to do back and forth to make money on the whole little trip and shit like that. And they didn't even send me to Wayside, so tripping out on that. Ended up going from the old county back to reception. Then they shot me to Twin Towers. Not even fucking a month later, boom, they called my name. That was it. So I'm right here, So that's about it, my boy.
So the last time we left off, you said you had 3 daughters, right?
Yeah, so
And your lady is pregnant, so
no,
you have another.
It's a long story, she ended up not going through with the full thing, and ended up losing the little girl, so she's up in heaven right now. And pretty much, yeah, dog. So besides that, where I'm at right here at this point is fresh out the county, dealing with some other bullshit. So I'm fresh. I'm out here on bail, homie, right now. And hopefully it ain't nothing gonna be too major over all that. And I'll be knowing in about a month or so, So besides that, just keeping the ball rolling over and over and over again, dog. From doing song after song, track after track. And that's where I'm at right here at this point, dog. Just another day.
What's your daughter's name?
Daniela.
Was that name chosen before or after?
Nah, yeah, before though.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I don't want to get too. I mean, I just let you know what it is. What happened, it wasn't anything all dramatic. She had a stillborn, so it ended up just being like a natural death, and it was just some trippy ass shit. I didn't really need this family member or that family member to come pull a tissue out of the box. I mean, if you weren't there before that happened to help out or this, that, then you weren't gonna be right there when this did happen. I know you're the family, all that other good shit, cool, I love you, but I don't need you to come sob over here with the parents, you know what I'm saying? So it was just some inside shit, dog. I don't really want to get too any more technical on that than what I did, especially being on a video and all that other shit, you know? It's more like an inside personal thing. But pretty much it's like this. I mean, I've learned to cope with them from losing a brother younger than me, tripping me out, like a full-blown casual cat, straight A student, but yet you got your older brother that's a fucking high school dropout, fucking no job, like nothing positive pretty much on the legit side. So what I'm getting at is that really made me always be like, damn, why God? Why'd you take my little innocent brother when you could have took my crazy bad boy ass? You know what I'm saying? And that didn't happen. That's when I was able to live and to learn. Hey, good, bad. When it's your time, it's your time. That's it, you know? So, shit, yeah, it wasn't easy, dog. It wasn't easy. I mean, from losing my brothers to losing homeboys to where at this point I've learned that, yeah, when it's your time, whether it's a accident, sickness, whatever the situation is, that's just your time, homie. And it's just some trippy ass shit, dog. You know, I mean, I've came to this point and learned, yeah, you know what, it's gonna hurt when you lose anybody. But at that point, what could you do? You could either add more negativity towards it, or you could look at it like part of life, homie. Like, that's what it is. Another lesson fucking learned. Another friend that you're gonna be thinking about. Why don't you cherish and remember all those good times? Of course you wanna go and fucking kill this person or that person. You wanna flip the fuck out. Is that what your parents, what his parents, what the guy up there wants you to do? Of course not. Especially, come on, I'm gonna give you a situation. You lose a person, brother, homeboy, sister, friend, and you want to flip out and kill the next person, so you go and kill this person. Okay, boom, you get snatched up, and now you're serving the rest of your life behind bars. What do you know? That's two people dead. Come on, homie, do the math. It doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure all these things out. Because, come on, I'm not even at that age to where I'm trying to say, yeah, I know it all. No, every day you're still learning things. And that's why it's just some trippy ass shit, dog. So, you know, like I said, from losing a brother to a grandfather to a baby to what else is on the, you know? It's like that dramatic, that, okay, what else could you put on my list? Not so much in a bad way, but just to be honest with you, hey, that's how life is. That's part of life. Ups, downs, good, bads. But so many negative things that just came out of my mouth. I also have a lot of positive things that I also have to fucking drop out of my mouth, you know? From doing different little shows, different performances since I've last seen. I last had a little interview with you, you know what I'm saying? Perform What's Happening to the homie Danny Boy. That's right there at the Green Turtle. The homie also Halified. She just finished opening up. I did West Coasting on 420 right here in downtown. opened up with West Coastin', DJ Quick ended up performing right after me. We were the only two artists performing right there. It ended up being a pretty sick turnout. A lot of fucking Mary Jane, a lot of weed to ease the pain and all that other good stuff, my boy. So, just finished within this last week to 2 weeks, completed 5 complete songs. Working on another one, so that'd be 6. And then I just finished dropping verses and just did a verse and a hook on Siphon. So just to show you how positively active I try to fucking stay, you know, with so much negativity that's around me, that's been there or this, that. Because, yeah, hell yeah. Like, I mean, I don't know if I even said it before, but of course I have a fucking reason to say this is why I drink every day. This is why I do these drugs or this particular drug every day. Fuck that excuse. That's only gonna make that situation worse, homie. And that's where I'm at this point. That's why since my accident, I still haven't even went into doing the heavy drugs, all the hard drugs I used to do before. It was no thing to me, you know? And now, I haven't even craved one, dog. I'm not gonna say I haven't tasted alcohol, but do I look at it the same? Do I fuck with it? Fuck no. I don't care if it's a birthday party or if it's a holiday. I could say no, I'm cool. I'm good with this glass of water or whatever the fuck I'm drinking, juice, soda, you know? Doesn't make me a tougher of a dude. So, you live and you learn, dog.
What's in it for you now? What's your beginning?
Damn, you know what? It's a trip, my boy. No one's actually ever even came at me to ask me these specific things, but just on some real shit. I just look at life, of course, differently because of that dramatic accident I was just in before I turned 30. And now at this point that I'm that age and I'm able to look and be like, damn, okay. I look at everything like as a different person, dog. It trips me out because I don't know, I can't give you that whole answer like with a quickness, but it trips me out because, yeah, okay, cool, I'll go out at times or whatever with the homie or this, that, stay up late, but for the most part, I like knocking out early, waking up early, enjoying the whole day, homie, getting the most you could get out of the day, appreciating it to the fullest. Not so much how it was before. And now I'm able to learn literally how they tell me at the different AA meetings or NA meetings or the AA meetings I gotta go to for that fucking whole accident shit I was in. It trips me out. Now I'm able to understand those different things that are written on the wall or people writing books to where it says you're going to be living the same exact life you've been living unless you make some fucking changes. And I'm not talking about making changes like, oh, I'm not going to smoke this bowl at 2 o'clock. I'm going to smoke it at 2:30. Nah. Full-blown changes from fucking the way you live your life, the way you look at life, the way you fucking just, the way it is. And like I said, who gives a fuck? It doesn't matter what doctor, what friend, what family member tells you not to do this, don't do that. What it comes down to is this. Life is what you make it. You want to make it hard? It's going to be hard, homie. You want to make it easy? It's going to be easy. Yeah, no one's saying it's going to be completely easy. But at one point, trust me, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Coming from such and so many fucking hardships and so many dramatic things, how the fuck you gonna question and say, oh yeah, how do you know? Did you see a movie? Did somebody tell you? Nah, homie, I lived through the motherfucker. I know. So, if you can laugh at it all you fucking want, turn the motherfucker off, I really don't give a fuck. It's your choice, homie. But there's many different options out here to better a fucking person, whether no one's trying to fucking change nobody's life, but if you're able to At least take your tia, your jefa, your grandma, your this, that, whoever special to you, out to go have a bite to eat. Go take them some flowers, some shit like that. That's right. You know what I'm saying? And before, it wasn't happening, homie. I mean, it trips me out, dog, the way I look at the whole thing. Give a f***, dog. I'll tell you one thing. Me taking my grandma or tia or jefa or daughter's flowers ain't gonna make me any less than a man than I am right now, homie. You know what I'm saying? Whether I'm fucking straight on the main line in fucking county jail or I'm right here burning a motherfucking lanyard with you in the hood or in the alley, in the studio. I stay here, there, here. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even want to get any more technical than I already have on the camera. And pretty much just live and you gotta learn, dog. Because if you live and you don't learn, you fucking up, homie. Like that. How I said, dog, something so negative, well, you know what? We're turning negative into positive. Negativity into positive things, you know? And hey, bottom line is this. Of course, we're going to be breaking the laws. We're going to be doing this. We're going to be doing that. But what it comes down to is this. The only way you're going to get down on me and get through it, if you want to be legit and live cool and be smooth, do what they say. You ain't going to beat them. You know how many fucking hoodlums are out here. You know how it is. They see us. Okay, let's check this cat out. See what he's about. So at this point, I had to learn the hard way. No matter how much that I'm going to be a hard-headed fool, I'm going to be the one driving. Okay, well, you're going to be the one getting the DUI. Well, the thing, I got 3 DUIs. And I had them 3 DUIs, not even 30 years old. Must have been taking it pretty sick. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, I thought I was cool. I thought I was smooth. I thought I was on my toes. I thought I was low pro. I thought I was fucking this, that. Catches up with you, dog. And I had to learn, homie. And I was sick of going through it over and over. Paying 1,000, 1,300 to pull my shit out the impound. When you could easily fucking put $1, $1.50 in a motherfucking bus. And you cool. Just smoked that leño, you got on, you got your yaska after. That's where I'm at, dog. I had to learn the hard way. But at least that motherfucker sunk in here, though, you know? That's where I'm at, dog, at this point.
What do you want to tell your daughter, Daniela?
Yeah, I just want to let her know that, you know, I love you. And I know you're up in heaven with your Uncle Joseph, with your grandpa, with your grandma. That's right. I see you, Abuelito Julio, Grandma Hela. It's my grandma that's saying that's my mom's. Just some trippy shit. And that's how I look at it at this point. I mean, they could say I'm crazy or this or that, but hey, she wasn't meant to come into this world for a reason. When God calls on you, you're up in heaven. I mean, I don't know, I haven't gone there, but it's supposed to be a fun place, a cool place, no negativity type place. That's where you see other people that aren't here no more. You know, so I do look and I do hope, okay, yeah, all the people that passed away that aren't here no more, hope they're together. You know what I'm saying? Watching over us, watching over me. Because, hey, I know someone was watching over me, dog. It's that sick-ass accident I was in. Come on. They said I was going to die first. The priest gave me my last rites. Then into a coma. I was in a coma already. Then came out the coma. Then saying that I'm not going to be able to walk no more. To where I'm at. Like, thing after thing. And this is from hospital. This is from professional doctors and all that. Coming to my family telling them this, that. Of course I don't remember. It was told to me, dog. So, some trippy ass shit out there, homie. It's your homie Big Jasper. And yeah, you want to get down on a piece of paper? Julio Barajas. Doing positive things. Trying to better my life. I lived through such a harsh life. Had the good, the bad, the struggles, you know? like I said, the ups and downs on me and all. You just knowing me, you know what type of motherfucking life it's been, so ain't nothing even gotta be said about those things. Rough life, homie. So, for those cats doing the good thing, the right thing out there, keep that shit rolling, homie. Stay strong, better your family, and that's pretty much it, dog. That's where I'm at this point, you know? So I want all the gente out there to know, gracias if you're feeling the music. I mean, if you ain't, you. Put the other fucking track on that you like. But for the ones that are feeling my shit, again, like I told you, stay up, stay strong, and smoke on, homie. It's your boy Big Jasper, Charlie Rock 2012, homie. Doing it live. That's right, Big Lou. Gracias, homie, for this whole get down. Letting the people know, not a little song, letting them know the background, the roots, the realness about us on an individual level, homie. So, it is what it is. What the f***'s up with you, fool? I ain't playing that bullshit, man. What you mean, homie? I told you, dog. A good motherfucking homie, just like a good motherfucking gangster, we stay alone, homie. And we stay ice cold, homie. We're with the business, fool. Don't get that shit twisted. We ain't with all that fucking pulling fados and all that bullshit, homie. You wanna play games, homie? That's all we're gonna play. I told you, fool. That's all I can play, homie, is games. Monday through Sunday, homie, and I stay on that motherfucker. She wants to get on, fool, have her shake the spot then. Let her get on, fool. We ain't playing none of that fatal shit, homie. That's on the fucking hood, homie. Real talk. You'll see when I see you.
You need me to move it?
Okay, what's on my friend's side?
Can I get you real quick? One more thing?
Yeah.
Like, I need shots of him standing up too. I need it for the club.
Stand up?
No, you can sit down real quick. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying. No, just like a medium. That's cool. Yeah, that's all I need. Like on one, like you're rubbing your hands.
Okay.
Like your
You?
thing. Yeah, I'm gonna get a close up of that. Yeah, you can start, bro. No, that's fine. Yeah, keep them right there, and yeah, you could keep going.
You see the picture?
Yeah. And get close-ups, babe, of his tattoos.
Oh, dog. Yeah. She lost my older homeboy Sneaks. and that was a good homie. You know, he was the one raising me. One of my older homeboys raising me when I barely got in the barrio. My homeboy Dreamer, he was right there with me, dog. I'm not gonna say when he died, but just in his life and in his soul, on an everyday thing. It wasn't a once in a while, you know. My boy Wino that passed away, we were like this. Used to all the time, dog. That day he passed away, I told him, "Hey, fool, come pick me up." I used to push carts. That's a here in my barrio at the market. "Hey, fool, pick me up." "Oh, I can't." Blah blah blah. Next thing I know, he ends up passing away that night. My homeboy Nutty, real close to him, dog, passed away. My homeboy Fat Boy from Southside 213. Even though we're from different cities, because we're in Montebello, there in Maywood, we're still the same hood, dog. And as close as my boys are from the east side, I look at my boys from the south side. Me and Fat Boy were like this. Used to make songs together, do rap shit. Nothing but good, you know? Not getting rich, but just for the of it. Homie love. And he was a good homie. So, you know, pretty much, I know the other homie Chaka passed away too from the Southside 213, and pretty much at this point of my life, because where I'm at right now, I'm not a little kid no more. So I look at things, you know, and to me, a funeral is a funeral. If I'm even attending and I'm even able to let you know what I experienced, regardless, you know, I must have had love and respect for the person. So I was able to see what's what. Of course, on a gang member, you're gonna see groups of the homeboys and shit like that, compared to of it's a full-blown grandmother to where her grandkids are gonna come. And yeah, I'm not saying they're not gonna be gang members, but one of those situations, you know. A lot of my other family though is buried right here in East LA, from both sides of my family, my mom and my dad's. East LA is. That's me, my boy. Exactly like my barrio. This is what I represent. East LA is where I come from. It's in my roots. It's where my mom and my dad had met. It's where they were raised. That's what got me to be obviously here in this earth. So that's what it means to me. You know, it's not something that, oh, you know what? Let me turn 19 years old or let me turn 20 and now I want to decide to move to East LA. Nah, I got pictures since birth, growing up, being here, there, the East LA parades and all that shit. All that shit stays with me. So pretty much East LA and Montebello is pretty much, you know, all that I know growing up.
What are the nights like in East LA like?
It's just
Dangerous.
yeah, of course, you know, all that. And that's not just East LA, pretty much it's Los Angeles County. If you're from LA and you know you're really from LA, you know the streets, which we be calling, you know the calles, then you know what's what. And those are things that don't even need to be spoken about. Oh, my side's more crazy, this side's more crazy. And you just saying that, it brought up another story that I'm gonna let you in on. Cats that were from South Central. Yeah, you know what? I give it up to a lot of good cats that I know from South Central, nothing but love. So these cats are in my barrio. My barrio is in Montebello. Not Southside Montebello, barrio 213, which runs by Montebello Park, Whittier Boulevard. Long story short, these cats from South Central are in my hood. Ah, dog, you guys are feeding, you guys are lucky. You can walk to the store like nothing. We can't even walk to the liquor store and get a pistol without a cohete. Long story short, my enemies come and we get into a shootout. And that cat that ended up saying all that ended up getting paralyzed. Yup. And it was a pretty dramatic thing, but that always stood with me because I remembered him saying that. And pretty much I was growing up. I was a youngster at the time when it happened. So it pretty much let me know, hey, you know, be on your toes no matter where the you go. I don't give a if you're in Beverly Hills or if you're in the nicest looking area, you just always stay what's up and stay through on your surroundings. Stay on top of your toes on what's what. You know? So that's what I gotta say about that. Yeah, I've done time. Done time just here in LA County, West Valley, Wayside, out there in San Bernardino también. What the fuck, Glen Howland, I think it's called. So I done, ain't too proud of it. Was pretty much the way I feel about time is it's a waste of time. You go to jail, it's a waste of time. Especially when you have more to offer than just, if you're a homeless cat and you need to eat and shit like that, then maybe jail might be good for you. But that ain't my thing, Yeah, of course, pretty much every tattoo exactly has a story about who gave it to you and shit like that, But yeah, pretty much obviously I have my barrio, I have my daughter's names, so that's what I keep close to me, And what I would like to get in the future is say like a portrait of my brother that passed away, my grandma's name, just stuff like that, family and homeboys. So that's pretty much. And what I could also take back, what I also learned growing up as a kid is that, I don't give a f. You could put tattoos all over your face. You could put tattoos all over your head. You could put tattoos all over your body. That doesn't mean that just because you're filled with tattoos means that you're going to be able to f***ing kick my ass or kick that person's ass that doesn't have 0 tattoos. So that's what I was able to learn growing up. Because, of course, when you're young growing up, oh, shoot, that guy has tattoos. Look, he has a lot of them. He's f***ing crazy. Yeah, you know what? More love to you. You're repping your whatever, your barrio, your family, whatever it is. More love, more respect, and do your damn thing. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to be in fear of my life, just because you have that many tattoos. It doesn't mean they're going to jump out and bite me or hit me. So that's what I have to let a lot of little youngsters growing up know.